Hello everyone, my name is Boris, bringing you another board review. Today we'll be hopping in game with Robinsongs, who was putting up an absolutely stellar performance on the ladder last night, and is known as one of the most fundamentally sound players in the pro NA scene. We are going to be playing in Poppy Encounter with the extra components, giving us the possibility of forcing perhaps either BIS or very strong openers through the item tempo. Going to start out with a Rumble pair. Now the Rumble Hero Augment has become better. The issue is that with Rumble you generally do not want to be holding a Lulu to tag along with it. However, holding onto a Rumble pair since it's can tie into something like a Demacia or other defenders is quite good, and we do get a Rumble too. Now if we were to see the Rumble Hero Augment, this would be a decent spot, however we would want to have extra rods. Now we also have a Lulu pair that we are going to be tacking in for now. But as I said, playing around the Lulu as your carry from this kind of opener is a little sus. Coming up on the Augment selection right now, we have hefty rerolls, which is, well, even though with the buffs, a little underpowered of an Augment. Clear Mind generally has fallen out of favor as a econ Augment due to you just having to full loss streak and the value you gain is not that great. Late game scaling, something now that is again perhaps a little bit more in the meta due to the 5 cost being buffed, and can serve as a generic econ augment, in this case better than the Clear Mind, therefore I will be defaulting that for now. Let's see what the selection he makes. Patient Study again plays more into the loss streak. Now you would get the upside now if you were to loss streak, however we have a Rumble too, we have a pair as well. And with the extra item slabs, we would want to perhaps play a little bit of a tempo. Woven Magic is an augment that a lot of players prefer due to the item tempo you can gain. However, since we are starting out with the couple of item components, the item augments are going to be valued a little bit less. However, the extra component could perhaps open us the possibility to slam 3 items. Could definitely be something worth considering. If we do believe that we can manage to salvage together a strong enough an opener, definitely would be a good option. We do have a Chotu in the shop as well, which would have worked quite nicely with it. I would believe that perhaps the Woven Magic would have been a little bit of a stronger option. But now we managed to pick up a Teemo and going to play around this Yordle opener. Going to unlock Poppy next round and have 4 Yordles. That way we could start printing up some upgrades. Now, this Yordle opener, generically good for farming extra econ, and perhaps going for something like a fast 9 from this kind of spot. With the late game scaling, could consider some kind of Ziggs board. However, this opener really falls off tempo in like stage 3 due to you simply lacking the combat power in these Yordles, since they have the built-in mechanic of farming you the upgrades and the trait generally being framed as a reroll trait. You would be falling behind some of the stronger boards, and it heavily relies on you having a Teemo too, and Teemo functions when you have a strong frontline. Now we have managed to pick up Poppy too, therefore that could hold down the frontline. Poppy is one of the stronger tanks, and even I would call her like even 1-star Poppy better than something like a 2-star Rumble. With exception if you have a particular, specifically something like a Bramble Vest, as Rumble scales from the AD. But we are going to cruise with this for now. Would probably look to complete some kind of chain item on this carousel as we managed to string together a 3 streak. We're also going to be naturally leveling to 5 from the augment we have. If you are able to capitalize on these Yordle spots to gain extra high tempo, this is definitely still one of the ways how you can transition into something like an Annie board or a Ziggs board. And also now we can see the improved cannon unlock. We already have 7 star levels, therefore going to be a lot easier to unlock cannon. This definitely also helps this Yordle opener to be able to get the 6 Yordles soon quite faster and start farming the free rerolls sometimes as early as 3-1. Going to opt to slam the Sunfire, get our anti-heal sorted, good early game item as well. Not gonna waste the remover to move the item, believe that this should be strong enough. Managed to pick up a win against the Spreading Roots Void player, looking to be playing into some form of a Kaise board. We do high roll of Wukong as well. Now, this Wukong would cost us a lot of gold. Therefore, I would assume that he's going to pass up on holding on to. Obviously, it ties in nicely if you're able to get to Kobuko. Now, interestingly enough, we want to secure this 5 streak, so we're going to aggressively level to 6. The Bebe level comes out, and this also allows us the possibility to hold on to that Wukong without sacrificing econ. We believe that since we're playing Yordles, now we're going to farm our econ back. Definitely worth if we managed to string together a 5 streak, and I assume we were afraid of this hustler player right here who also had managed to level to 6. Now, with the extra unit, we believe that we might have been able to take down their single star Kog'Maw. Therefore, a good spot recognition from Robinsongs to go for this play. Yeah, so we're going to opt to hold on to this. Nah, okay, right, we ditch it. Going to make 20. Otherwise, our econ is a little too low. I'm going to sell the Lulu pair that we had carried along for a little while. Going to opt to slum a Gargoyles. Simply works out the best with our augments at the moment, and do not want to waste a reforge. This build could definitely become already a Nashor's Tooth, synergizing quite nicely with the jeweled gauntlet we have slammed. Into a quite strong Scion with the Indomitable and the Bramble Vest, supported by the LeBlanc. Do we have enough damage? Now the Teemo, this is the thing with the Teemo 1. He unfortunately does not have enough damage quite often. Now, on the next augment selection, Belt Overflow, we would be sitting here with 5 belts. We have 2 tank items slammed already, therefore we do not have immediate use of these belts. This is very good augment in cases where you can definitely make use of already like 3 belts, or best all 4. Prismatic Ticket, we are not looking to reroll. We have free rerolls all being farmed, but synergize, but I believe in this spot we're looking to push the tempo and try to go for some kind of level 9 board. Therefore, Cursed Crown seems to be the best option. Plays quite nicely into the Yordles. Also able to put an 8 Yordle already on level 7, start farming the extra gold. However, it is a risky play on its own. Now, Magnetic Radiant Relics, good item augment. However, we have some roller options, particularly if we get some AD options, those would be dead at this moment. And Prismatic Destiny, I mean, sometimes you have to do it, but Robinsongs is a little bit risk adverse player, not gonna go for it. Just going to push the levels here, going to be able to also unlock the Kobuko this way and slot in the 8 Yordles with the Kobuko and Fizz unlocks. Into a Sona player with early learnings, had to take an econ augment, fallen behind a little bit on the tempo, going to be an easy pickup win for us. So yeah, Cursed Crown definitely opened up this option of being able to push the levels already aggressively, secure the wins. Hopefully we do not bleed out too much stage 4 and are able to make our way to level 9. Our recon is going to rebound now with the 8 Yordles. And we also get a lucky Shyvana pickup that's definitely going to be quite strong. Shyvana, perhaps the best aura unit in the game right now, just providing that extra durability. Unfortunately, we have dug a little bit, but still have not found a Teemo 2. Really would want to secure this upgrade, as that would secure us our wins. I would also perhaps myself would have transitioned the items right now on Poppy, as we do have the 2 Juggernaut. The 2 Juggernaut, very good splash trade. However, we're able to pick up a win again, as another player is going for, it seems like, it's Fast 9 strategy with the Patient Learning and the Tiniest Titan. Ideally, would want to be able to pick up a bow here. However, we are on the 3rd pick, the bow is going to get taken. Ooh. Would assume to either push tempo and complete an item here. Now, we picked up a tier and for 1 cost, definitely not exactly what we would like here. Able to get some more frontline upgrades from the pickups here. Still fishing for that Teemo 2 with our free rerolls. Managed to finally get it. Have to give up, unfortunately, a Fizz. Going to transition items now to the Cannon. Now, are we going to slam the Spirit Visage? No, we're going to opt to rather slot in the tier on the Teemo. Unlocks a Kaisa for us if we wish to. Perhaps might hold on to it for a while. Also going to grief this Kaisa player right here a little bit. Going for that wand on the overflow. Definitely playing into AP Kaisa. Able to pick up a small dupe now. Perhaps would have liked it last turn. However, now we can opt to maybe fish for some 3 stars. Already sitting on 5 cannons from these Yordle grab bags. Going to default edition positioning, as we see that the boards are quite full and do not want to risk a chance of getting wrapped. Into a Warwick. Fortunately, it's only a Warwick and Jinx 1. so we do not get farmed by the resets, as we have positioned our tank right in front of the Warwick and are able to pick up around here. Greatly recovered. Unfortunately had dropped that one round and did not get the win streak. We are quite close to the cannon 3 already, only a couple of cannons short. Now definitely with the 90 HP would be trying to angle a fast 9 right now and play around the Ziggs. One cannon short from the 3-star, going to slam the Nashers and pair it with the JG. And complete the third item in form of a adaptive helm that is going to able to transition also later on as a mana item if we wanted to. Into a Slayer's board with Infinity Protection, definitely quite strong augment for the particular comp. Unfortunately, from them, we can check the positioning here. Now, since their Mbessa was starting here, she had to walk up here to attack the cannon, and her dash made the cannon, had to attack the cannon in this line. Now, if she had been here, once she cast it, she would have dashed here and hit the 3 units here in line to be able to maximize the damage output. Definitely a thing to consider whenever you're playing your own Slayer games on the opposite side. And due to them now lacking the frontline damage, we're able to pick up a win here and send them on a very tight spot of seeing only a couple of lives. Playing from that lose streak on our last augment. 1-2s, 5s could give us a little bit more components, a little bit econ. We do not need the econ right now. Earth Axiom. I've not really seen anyone pick this augment, but perhaps Robin is going to go for the play. Gives us a little bit more of frontline than Yordles generally seem to lack the frontline support. Corrosion synergizes quite well with the white staff that we have. Would probably be the best combat option right now if we opted to. Considering 1-2-5s, and we do go for 1-2-5s. Now I've considered even the grab bag as a form of a more item support. That's, even though the grab bags can farm, I just feel like they're more consistent in farming the units and econ. But we did manage to high roll a Shyvana and a Fiddlesticks. Perhaps since we have the flex slots opening up on level 8, we will consider the stronger upgrade that we could immediately slot in on level 8 and make our light to level 9. Just be able to keep up with the tempo. Now nicely we were able to pick up a cannon 3, tossing that Dew pawn. And now this cannon is going to be able to hold the fort for us, and we're able to still roll around with this Teemo 2. Farm another component. And it seems like, yeah, he's aggressively using these free rerolls in form to able to form the strongest board possible each turn without sacrificing that much econ, and we are not that far also from a Teemo 3 right now. Queuing into a Hustler player who decided to go for Kaisa. Playing around, I believe they do like in the combat power, like the Kaisa board definitely wants in the extra form of items. Particularly if you're playing AD Kaisa, you want the items more. However, the Kaisa and the Rift Herald and the extra combat power they have is going to be quite strong for us, and now we have to play in some of a little bit of the HP preservation mode, as any loss we're going to take is going to be quite a huge hit. Forced to take another rod here. Now I would assume we're going to try to level to 8 here. Able to do so, and also pick up a Wukong that we're just going to slot in. Could also consider playing around that Volibear unlock that we're going to get. Just going to transition full damage items and another Kaisa player. How we fare against this one, I'm not as sure. They also have a boxing license farm and augment. Now that we have the extra bit of scaling from Teemo, we do seem to have the sufficient damage to be able to break through their front line. Shyvana serving as a quite nice secondary carry as well at the moment. Yeah, we're going to slop out the Wukong, just going to go for the Volibear. Still using our free rolls to see if we can get close to any more upgrades. Now, since we have used those free rerolls, I would assume that we're going to try to stick in these Yordles quite a lot. Generally, with the Cursed Crown, it will be very expensive to transition board to some form of the other direction. And definitely have not held on to the upgrade units necessary to be able to transition into something like Rise Ziggs. Also do not have the best of the items to consider the comp. Ziggs generally wanting something like a Rage Blade, but we do have decent items. Therefore, let's see how Robinsongs plays it out. Nicely be able to close out the stage on a couple of win streak. Have farmed another dupe under only one Teemo of Teemo 3. Now, going to still use the free upgrades to try to farm some upgrades. Not that far off Kobuko 3 either. Probably a complete an item here on Shyvana's Lost, also on a TG on the Fizz. Best way, nicest way, and to close out your items. Into a Slayer Boar who has managed to get in our weak side, but we have positioned our cannon in the middle so that his AoE hits the board and perhaps stalls as much as possible. However, just too much combat power at the moment. We're still on a Teemo 2 carry. We're going to be expected to take a couple of losses, and we definitely want to see if we can make our way to level 9. We have to recall that when we do, we still need to sit around here on the board we have right now to be able to unlock the Ziggs. So we're going to opt to push now. Able to pick up a Shyvana too, quite contested unit in the current meta, and definitely is going to be the main carry for the moment into a List Seraphine board. Fortunately for us, they do not have a Lysandra 2 now. Through the pure unit power and the Shyvana being able to take so much damage, we're able to stall long enough for the Fizz to terrorize their backline. And the cannon is holding down the fort once again. Definitely a big win for us to be able to pick up a Shyvana 2. Able to now finally slot in the Ziggs. And tag in Ahri just for an extra Arcanist. Ideally, I would assume we were looking for something like a Swain. Now, let's see how long we hold on to this 8th Yordle. Since we're giving up on Teemo, we might just say, okay, give us the Kobuko 3 and then we could swap out. However, since we are still here on at least a couple of lives, could also play the thread carefully as to farm the extra econ, as we are quite broke. But able to already squeeze into the top 4 just from the pure tempo play. Recognizing that the Cursed Crown is going to be the strongest option, we do have an option of an Arcanist emblem that would allow us to slot off that Ahri slot, and yeah, we're going to go for that. Immediately get rid of the Ahri, provide us with another strong unit we could play. Fiddlesticks, Senna, any form of Aura units could work quite nicely. More of an Invoker, yeah, Zillion Invoker pairing together with the Kobuko, able to pick up that Kobuko 3 as well. Going to transition the Arcanist item. Emblem on the Ziggs, as he just benefits from that power a lot better. Sort out our items so that whatever we get on the PvE can work for us, as we're able to both use now AD, AP, and the tank item in form of transitioning the Adaptive Helm. A very cool board put together. You very rarely see these Yordle plays being played around in the highest of elos. And all enabled through Robinsongs, sound fundamental play, and the spot recognition of when the lobby is greeding, we can push tempo through this Cursed Crown, which is an augment that a lot of people would simply shy away from, as I myself, for example, definitely do not trust myself to be able to execute it as well. However, into these Yordles, it seems like one of the best options. Now the Sona player had made it out quite well, be able to capitalize on the tempo and extra healing they got, but now that we have made our way to level 9 and are rocking 11 units, the Sun is going to struggle being able to tear apart and have the direct damage necessary. And we're still just rocking this 8 Yordle. Robin is, since they're picking up these wins, like why not just keep giving us resources, right? Allows us to keep rolling here, to look for upgrades. Looks like we're going to be playing around this Zillion secondary carry. Now, do have a good item augment options. A little late on the item swap, consider if we want to transition the Adaptive Helm onto the Zillion. Definitely synergizes quite well with Invokers. We're just going to go slam a Vow on the Shyvana and able to pick up a win against the Kai'Sa Void board. Also secure the top 3 from the looks of it. And still been streaking, very soundly played. Sitting on 8 Yordle for the extra greed. Finally, this extra econ has paid us off, so we were able to pick up a Ziggs 2, which is going to give up the Garen here, right? Also, could transition these. Want to save a remover right now to be able to transition the TG onto the Volibear into a Ghost with the Masia board. Should make short work just from the extra board strength that we have. Shyvana too has carried us a very long way and continues to do so, but now the Ziggs is starting to take the shining spot. And the Kai'Sa board that we didn't have too much trouble against, we should be able to perform quite well again. Since we're playing in the Masia board, it seems like they're chasing a 3-star Garen. That's why we are holding onto the Garen before we had to sell to make it. They hit Garen 3 now. We're going to queue into them, but they had to sell the board for it. I do not think the Garen 3 is going to be enough, particularly since he does not have the damage items. He gets stuck on our front line for quite a bit, and the Ziggs splash has managed to get the backline down. Still, unfortunately, not enough. And nice thing that we do got going for us, we have that Zillion. If we're able to stall this long for the comp, the Zillion is going to, bomb is going to go off after, if I recall correctly, it's 18 seconds. Able to pick up a JG, that's going to give us extra damage. Oh, and also the Volibear too. Now we have our critical mass. We could try to look to transition our board out of the 8 Yordles. Finally, this running this the Lulu, the Rumble on this board is just whatever it is, but let's see. Robin doing his classical walk. The bomb is on the Garen, the time is ticking, the Volibear has made it to the backline. We're going to get the Ziggs splashes, taking out the backline. Now their damage is done. Now, and the Basilia bomb has been managed to stall for long enough to able to pick up the win. Another sound performance by Robinsongs, recognizing his win conditions and the ways to maximize his AVP. I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned something new, as I definitely did. And I wish to see you in the next one. Have a good one.